Which one of these top-rated communities is better than the other? Today, we're talking about the pros and cons, the differences between the Woodlands, Texas and Woodforest, Texas. Both of these are top-rated communities. The Woodlands has been ranked #1 community to live in the nation for a couple years, and Woodforest continues to get accolades and nominations for one of the best developments here in North Houston. Today, we're going to compare and contrast these two communities, and be sure to stick around to the very end because we're going to give you some extra exclusive details that you need to know before you make your decision to move to the Woodlands or move to Woodforest. Let's jump in. First up, let's talk about location and the size of these communities. So the Woodlands has been here for a lot longer. The Woodlands has been around since 1974. That's whenever they first started building. Now, Woodforest started in 2012, whenever Johnson Development Company broke ground and began the production of the amenities and building the houses. Now, the Woodlands sits just south of Woodforest in the grand scheme of things. It's a little bit closer to downtown Houston. Not much, but it is barely, right? The Woodlands has a little bit better access to kind of some of the main thoroughfares, I-45, 99, the Hardy Toll Road, because it sits a little bit closer down into Houston. Now, Woodforest is a little bit more removed. It's got a little bit slower pace of life, and you're actually closer to Lake Conroe as well, and to the city of Conroe. If you're looking for a lifestyle where you have great access to a lake, Woodforest could be the better option for you. Now, the Woodlands is much larger than Woodforest. The Woodlands is about 28,500 acres. That includes green space, golf courses, commercial development, and the residential areas and neighborhoods, and all the villages. Now, Woodforest, Texas, since it's newer, it actually is a lot smaller. It's only 3,000 acres. And this does also include the golf course, it includes all the homes, it includes the commercial development. The way that we like to kind of describe it is that Woodforest is technically its own village. It's about the right size of just one more village of the Woodlands. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit smaller and tighter knit, Woodforest could be for you. But if you want maybe a little bit better location or access to some of the commercial and nightlife and amenities, the Woodlands could be the right option for you. Speaking of amenities, let's jump in. Now, first we're gonna want to start with Woodforest. Woodforest has a lot to offer. Originally, it took a while for some commercial development to begin. You had to drive down 1488 to get to some of the shopping centers, or you had to go up to Conroe. Now there's Harvest Market, there's Pine Market. So Harvest is for your groceries. Pine is gonna have your gym, your yoga studio, Crust Pizza is gonna be there. You've got bars, everything you need has really come to Woodforest. There's medical there, there's dentists, you got your bank. I mean, really, unless you need something specific, you don't have to leave Woodforest. However, the Woodlands, because of its location and its different villages, has quite a bit more, let's say, commercial amenities, right? Each village has its own village shopping center. So you have more grocery store options. You've got easy access to the Woodlands Mall, into Market Street, and Hughes Landing, and the Waterway. So from that kind of higher end entertainment, the Woodlands has more amenities that fits that lifestyle. Now, both of these communities are gonna have a great amount of parks and green space. Something that's really cool about Woodforest is gonna be the Stampede Sports Complex. So this is, 2 full soccer fields with a community center for you to be able to hang out with your neighbors or play, your kid's soccer game or flag football or something can happen right here in the community. Additionally, you've got some really cool destination water parks, lap pools, community parks, splash pads that are much more updated than what you're gonna get in the Woodlands. And I think that's a great reason it draws people to specifically Woodforest. Now, the Woodlands has all of this stuff as well. There's parks, hike, bike, walking trails. We do have sports fields as well. Now, if you love golf, both communities are gonna be great for you. In Woodforest, they have a 27-hole golf course that's gonna allow you to play a variety of kind of 3 9-hole options, right? There's a clubhouse. It is a private membership at Woodforest, and it's a really great course that kind of works its way throughout the whole community. Now, in the Woodlands, you have a lot more options. There's obviously the Woodlands Country Club, which is nationally known, but you also have the elite and more exclusive membership of Carlton Woods. So in both communities, there's golf. The Woodlands does have more courses and variations and varieties that it can offer for you, and different amounts of clubhouses and other amenities, maybe more tennis tennis courts or pickleball courts or more, workout facilities, but both are gonna have memberships and clubs for you to go to. Something really cool about Woodforest is a 55 and older community called Bonterra. Now, this lies within Woodforest, and they have an additional homeowners association because they have their own private community center. You've got things like a year-round pool. There's community events that are planned. You've got a massage option, kind of a spa for you. People drive their golf carts around, which is really cool in Bonterra to see just how active that community of 55 and older is. Now, the Woodlands does have this. It's called Windsor Hills, and there are some other 55 and older communities around the area, but nobody has done it quite like Woodforest has. In fact, I've had many clients from the Woodlands who have raised their families here actually move to Bonterra for retirement, for a little bit slower pace of life. And they've done that because they can get newer options, plus have all the amenities kind of around and that encompass Bonterra and Woodforest. At the end of the day, Woodforest and the Woodlands have a lot of very similar amenities, but you have to ask yourself, do you want more options or do you want something that's a little bit newer? That's the question you need to ask. Another important question that you need to ask whenever you move here is, what is the pace of life of these communities? Does it fit your family or how you want to live your life? In Woodforest, it's gonna be a little bit slower paced. Based on kind of the communities that you're surrounded by, Montgomery, Magnolia, and Conroe, those tend to have a little bit larger lots. There's not as much traffic and commercial development out there. Now, the Woodlands can have some more traffic, right? There's more, obviously, to do from the entertainment perspective with the pavilion. You've got concerts, you've got a variety of different movie theaters you can go to. So the pace of life in the Woodlands can feel maybe a little bit faster than what you might get out in Montgomery, Texas, which is where Woodforest is located. Schools. Now, this is one of our most popular questions whenever people move here because both of these communities are very family oriented. So the Woodlands actually is zoned to Conroe Independent School District, whereas in Woodforest, you are zoned to Conroe Independent School District, but there's actually a second ISD as well, which is Montgomery ISD. That makes Woodforest unique because it's kind of split down the middle of two independent school districts. Now, the Woodlands has two main high schools that you're gonna go to, the Woodlands High School or College Park, and the respective feeder schools. And we've got a full video describing kind of how the school system works. So that's gonna be one of the biggest differences between Woodforest and the Woodlands is if ISD is really important to you, we gotta know where and what properties to look for so that you can go to their respective schools. At the end of the day, both communities have very highly ranked schools, and down below in our description, we're gonna have a link to Niche where you can look at school ratings on your own and kind of make that decision before you come down here. Hey, if you're getting value from these videos that we make, we would love it if you would subscribe to our channel. If you're thinking about moving to the Woodlands, Texas or Woodforest, Texas, subscribe. We make videos about living, working, and moving right here to these amazing communities. Now, let's jump back into the video. Now, the reason you're probably watching this video is because you want to know about what the housing options are in the two communities. So first up, let's talk about prices. Now, both of these areas are going to have quite the variety of prices, anywhere from $340,000 all the way up to $4 million right now in Woodforest is about the most expensive house that's on the market. So what's cool about this is, the schools that all these homes go to, you're gonna have a pretty diverse amount of socioeconomical, families and incomes in these areas, right? And that's very similar to the Woodlands as well. There's a variety of price points, all the way, again, from townhomes that are $300,000 all the way up to $2 million, $3 million, and in some cases $5 million right here in the Woodlands. Both of these areas have apartment complexes if you need a place to live for a little bit. So there's quite a variety of selections whenever it comes to real estate, anywhere from 1,600 square feet all the way up to, 6,000 square feet in Woodforest. And then same thing for the Woodlands. Small homes, 1,000 square feet, all the way up over 10,000 square feet in some cases in these, very exclusive neighborhoods. Property taxes make up a big part of your payment, and you're gonna see quite the difference in these two communities. Now, since Woodforest is a newer community, the property tax rate is gonna range from 2.4 all the way up to 2.7%. In the Woodlands, it's gonna be 1.8, 1.9% of your assessed value up to about 2.4. So since the Woodlands has been established for a little bit longer, it's gonna have that lower property tax rate. And over time in Woodforest, you would expect for it to drop down and lower the tax rate as well. But typically home values are going up, so it kind of ends up kind of being the same thing. Now, a big difference between these two communities is gonna be the HOA. So in Woodforest, they do have a homeowners association, and in some cases there can be additional ones on top of the base one. But the base one is just under $1,400. That's for a year. That's gonna accommodate things like some of the roads. You're gonna have upkeep of the amenities, the green spaces, the landscaping, and it's gonna also help pay for the water parks, the community center, things like that. Now in the Woodlands, there actually is not a homeowners association. We do have a township which governs the community and regulates things like an HOA would, right? Enforces rules and restrictions, but the HOA is baked into our property taxes. And as I just said, the property taxes are lower, so it actually is a great savings where we don't have any additional fees, for owning a house in the Woodlands. One of the main reasons that we've had clients move from the Woodlands to Woodforest, or people relocate here and choose Woodforest over the Woodlands, is the age of the homes. Now, we just made a full video on Woodforest where we actually get to walk through some of these new construction houses with you and show you what you can get for your money. But that's one of the reasons that's drawing people to the community. So you get all the amenities that the Woodlands would have, but you get a brand new house. Construction was started being built in 2012. So that's the latest and oldest home you can have. So, roofs are still good. You've got PEX piping, there's great insulation. And some of the other houses in the Woodlands, 1970s, right? People are actually starting to tear homes down in the Woodlands and build modern new construction because the lots are great, but it doesn't make sense financially to totally gut renovate a home and still have an old foundation or something. Now, not every house is old and not, livable in the Woodlands. A lot of homes were built in the 90s, and we have stuff that was built in 2012 as well. But that's gonna be a big difference between the two, is if you want something with maybe a little bit more contemporary design, or the base price comes with these standard features of modern construction, that might be the better option for you. Or if you want something with a little bit more character that you can make your own, the Woodlands is gonna be a good option there. Sorry to interrupt the video, but real quick, if you are thinking about coming and moving to the Woodlands, Texas or Woodforest, Texas, give our team a call. We are professional real estate agents, and I am actually the team leader of the Giles Real Estate team, and we help families just like you move to these communities each and every single day. So down below is gonna be my phone number, our email address where you can reach out to, and there's a quick survey that you can fill out so we can learn more about your family's journey and your story about moving right here to Texas. Now, let's jump back in. Next, we're gonna be talking about jobs. But after that, we're gonna talk about the bonus section of the things that you need to know before you make a decision on moving to one of these communities. So regarding jobs and industry, what do these two communities have to offer? And I'll be totally honest, the Woodlands really outweighs Woodforest in this. Now, Woodforest does have some good, access to Conroe and out to 1488 to Magnolia. But whenever it comes to jobs, people are often working in oil and gas or medical or, a variety of those supporting industries, and the Woodlands has a ton to offer. There's lots of different companies that are continuing to move here or to spring, and you can see that in just the amount of high rises that we have, right? At the front of the Woodlands, there's plenty of commercial, high rises that are there that house all of these companies like ExxonMobil and the variety of medical that we have, Oxy, Huntsman, things like, Chevron, and a variety of different tech companies as well are all at the front of the Woodlands. Now, you will notice that a lot of people in Woodforest are commuting either to Woodlands or Conroe, or in some cases all the way into Houston for their job. And so it does, you're more than likely not gonna have an office close by to you if you're in Woodforest, where you're gonna have a shorter commute if you're in the Woodlands. Finally, we need to talk about some important facts about these two communities. We're gonna give one contrasting, and then we're gonna give one that's most similar. Now, the first thing that's one of the biggest differences between the Woodlands and Woodforest is actually what's called a recapitalization fee. Now, they also call this the YCFC, or the Your Community Foundation Committee. So this is basically a fee whenever you sell your home that's paid back into the community so they can continue to have a great lifestyle and upkeep their amenities. Now, it's a pretty expensive fee. It's half of 1%, so 0.5% of your sales price goes to the developer every time you sell a home as a seller. So it's an important thing. Are you going to be living in this community for a long time? Then it may not really affect your budget whenever you're moving here. Or if you're looking for a quick return, you may actually need to really plan this into your financials and budget whenever you move to Woodforest. Now, the Woodlands does not have anything like this, like a recap percentage fee. There is a $150 transfer fee that just is basically transferring the paperwork so the township knows who's the new owner of the property. Now, something that's great about these two communities, which we've already kind of talked about a little bit, but I want to narrow in on one specific thing, is they're both in Montgomery County. And what's great about this is that we're going to have lower property taxes. So property taxes in general in Montgomery County are cheaper than Harris County and some of the surrounding areas. And even more so than that, one of the things that's going to help you with homeownership and your day-to-day budget is actually insurance. Being in Montgomery County, you have cheaper homeowners insurance and auto insurance than you do in Harris County. So it's going to help your budget and help you buy the right house whenever you move here. So what do you think? Did we miss any differences between the Woodlands and Woodforest? Comment those down below so we can have a further discussion about it. At the end of the day, both the Woodlands and Woodforest have a ton to offer, and you really can't go wrong when moving to either. As always, we appreciate you watching these videos, and if you need to, reach out to us. We'd love to start a real estate conversation with you. Thanks for your time, and we'll see you on the next video.